Welcome back to my studio. Today I thought I'd share with you some of my work and show you how I achieve the look that I do in the paintings. And so I'll do a few demos and I'll share some of the images with you. It's going to be a short video, but I hope you'll enjoy it. So let's start with some of my limited edition reproductions. These are, the first one you saw is Summer Rain. Second one here is Morning Fog. These are available in a limited edition of 450. There are still some reproductions available, as well as a few artist proofs. This third one is Sailboat and Rocks. These are all colored pencil. The originals are all colored pencil. Now, what I'd like to show you next is my technique. How do I go about applying the colors? Just how do I do this? So I'm starting off, I'm going to do a sky here. So what you'll notice is that I'm laying down a light layer of color. Typically in the prints, the reproductions that you saw at the beginning of this, there will be 35-40 layers of color in any given area. Now typically I would rotate the paper so that there's no directionality to the strokes. But I'm not going to do that here. I'm working on a small area, so I can manage without having to rotate it. But what you'll see is that I'm using several different blues here, and I'm layering it in a graduated way so that it's lighter down toward the horizon and it's darker up towards the top. And if you look at the sky closely, you'll see this is actually the case. And you'll see there's a difference in the actual blue of the sky toward the zenith as compared to near the horizon. So I use several different blues. And I build layer on layer. I'm working with a very sharp pencil, and I'm working with basically just the weight of the pencil to apply the color. Now doing the demo here, I'm working a little faster and maybe a little heavier than I normally would, but not significantly differently. Now at this point in this demo, I really didn't have a clear idea where I was going, other than that I was doing sky to start, and I had no idea what I was going to put in the foreground. And when I started to lay in the foreground, I actually changed my mind, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So as you can see, it's just layer on layer on layer. The drawings, the reproductions that I showed you at the beginning, the originals on those all took approximately 200 hours to produce, and they're not large. They are all approximately 12 by 18 inches. So, just layer on layer on layer, and a very gradual lightening or darkening rather toward the top. So here I am laying in some foreground, and initially at this point I was thinking I'll do some clouds, so we'll pretend like we're in an airplane and we're looking down on the clouds. But as I started to lay this in, I didn't like that idea. I didn't see this working that way. sometimes use a tissue, as you saw me there, to blend colors together, to soften things a little bit more than they normally are. So here I'm laying in some background hills. Putting a sharper edge, more defined edge. I'll just lighten the background hills to push them back a little further. Some muted greens here in the foreground. It's a blend of chromium greens and olive greens, sage green. And bring the sky down to the hills. And here we're going to put in a tree. And even on this dark silhouette, I'm using a dark gray, I'm using some burnt carmine, I'm going to use some burnt umber, and I'm also going to use some indigo to darken it down so that it reads as a silhouette, but still has some color to it. Because even when your eye sees silhouettes, it sees color in whatever is silhouetted. The camera, on the other hand, doesn't. It just sees darks or blacks. And just some finishing details. If I were doing this for anything other than a demo, I'd work a little slower. I'd build in a few more layers. It would probably take me another 2 or 3 hours to finish. As it is, this drawing to this stage has taken 90 minutes, maybe a little more, and it's only about 5 by 7 inches. Here you can see most of the finished drawing, and here are the pencils that I used. I'll give you a full list. So I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed doing it. It was a lot of fun. I hope you learned something as well. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to contact me at the email address included. And also the limited edition reproductions that I showed you earlier in this video, those are all available. The prices start at $125 plus shipping. So if you're interested, again, please contact me at coloredpencilmagic@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Any comments are welcome. And please stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.